I hope my audio is okay. To everyone we're with over the past couple of days, especially last night, we're happy to have you here. So, guys, my whole point here, my keynote is, what is YELP in the future? One of is, I'll be honest with you, I prepared a very nice speech, prepared it, recorded and everything, but it didn't work out. And now I'm understanding why the value is that we have to have one-on-one, why we sit down and take in what everyone has said and actually have the conversation, as opposed to something that's pre-recorded. YELP has been the cornerstone of the Institute. Not to brag about ourselves, but like, we have been the ones that have made the Institute recognize its biggest achievements. I started the conversation with YELP, something about to do young people with OWL, about 2014. Yeah. So 10 years, I'm counting 15 years. Yeah. And now it's about what do we do in the future and how do we go forward and make ourselves better. So this place we're in, this YELP, this brotherhood, this fellowship, this sisterhood, we're a family and we're getting together. We've had 5 years of YELP with 3 cohorts. And 5 years, you have to understand that there have been 2 years of COVID. So sustainability, if we're looking at sustainability, we have achieved more than very many other people do. And in that sense, it's reflective of what it means for us to be thought leaders. Now, when I talk about thought leaders, I want to bring you back to people like Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, Amilcar Cabral. Like, these are people who made speeches years ago, but we still sit here and we reflect on what they told us and what they thought about and where they knew this Africa could go. And all of you, by joining YELP, you wanted an Africa that you want, a narrative change. And that's why we're here. So where is the future? Now with YELP, the main thing is we are building trust amongst ourselves. You know me, I know you, we trust each other. And with building trust, we build networks. Carl said something along those lines the other day when he was here yesterday, actually. If we can have that network, if we can build trust amongst ourselves, then that's where we're going to in the future. It's a community that has come up on the values, on the ideals, on the ideas, on the beliefs that we all share of where do we want to go, who do we want to be, what can we achieve for one another. So as I come to you on what we're going to be, YELP in the future, and now YELP is going to break up into 2 parts. And forgive me for not saying this earlier. There's YELP 2.0, the new program coming in for the individuals who are going to join us. YELP 2.0 is going to tap into our mature networks. Mature is something that we talked about yesterday. Not the older networks, but networks that have been there for years. The African Leadership Institute, the Aspen Institute, institutes that our own founders have gone to and have understood. Institutes that we can also tap into. We want to create a curriculum that is going to bring on board the values, the systems, and the understanding that these people have gone for, and these people understand, and then we tap into it as individuals. And then there's also going to be, on the other side, the YELP alumni, which I'm most passionate about. The idea that you people have gone through this program, you have benefited, you have created a network space for your passions, for your ideas, for your hopes, and for everything that we imagine. And then I'll tell you this, I'm the most cynic of people, and the class of 2017 will tell you this. I am the person who is going to always look at where are we failing or where are we going to fail? How do we fail to do what we set out for? Yet at the same time, how do we most embrace ourselves when we achieve what we have set out for? So there are three main criteria that YELP in the future has to be. We're talking about imagined communities. Now, this is what we imagine our community to be. You have seen prime ministers come out of England from a single school, Eton, go to universities and belong to clubs like the Bullingdon. You have seen Alpha Kappa Alpha in the United States. You have seen Skull and Bones. I'm not saying that that's what we seek to create, but I'm simply saying, why can't we have a space where we decide and we talk about what we love and we desire? I'm going to ask you to forgive me for the background noise. It's Sunday morning, rain is falling, annoying with the song, but circumstances happen. So the three main components for you as YELP fellows who have been and who are coming to, the first thing is we have to be champions. We have to be owners of this program. In that instance, we have to understand of how can we be involved, what we give back for what we have benefited. Liz yesterday talked about it, and she told us that you only get what you give. This institute is going to demand as much from you as it is giving you. And I want us to embrace that. I want us to be happy with that. Huh? We are going to be able to give the institute back in different ways. Service in different ways. Guys, some of you will have time to come onto the call today. Some of you will look at the call on another day. Another chunk of you will have advice. Another bit of you can give monetary contribution. It's about how to build up something for our own. Share with you, the institute is giving us a liaison officer, and we're splitting. We're not splitting per se of we're going away on our own, but we're creating a community within a community. The YELP Fellowship has to be a community on its own, and that's the driving goal. That's the foundational aim, that we take up ownership as fellows, as people who have been here, that we can create a system that is ours and ours as we determine and we believe. The institute has been good to us. We have who has given us this chance to meet. We have Kwesi who takes his time. Oh my God, Kwesi takes so much time to make us come together. Yet at the same time, we now have to look forward of how do we build this? The classes of 2017, 2018, 2019, the future classes of 2022, 2025. And we sit down and we create an amalgamation of everything that works for us. So that we have to be the champions, and we're going to call upon you. It could be for your advice. It could be for your understanding. It could be for you to open for us doors. Well, it could be for you to contribute as fellows. As fellows, we need to know that this is our dream. This is what we believe in, and this is what we put money into, or this is what we fund for us. I want tomorrow to be the kind of place whereby we are finding each other and we're helping each other. And on that point, I go on to the second thing. We are creating a support system, a family. When I say support system, I don't mean that out of every failure that you will pull onto someone, or out of every benefit or every growth that you're looking at people. The support system has to be that I can pick up my phone and call Liz and call Isaac and call Mala tomorrow, and I'm like, I'm in Nairobi. I would want to understand the ecosystem you're operating, the ecosystem that you're doing, and how do I plug in? Guys, we are a fellowship. We do not have to always say, I never talked to him. He was not my friend. We do not have to be friends. We are brothers, brethren, sisters in a fellowship. I want you to be comfortable to come into Kampala and call me and tell me, Conrad, I'm looking for a connection to ABC. How can you do that for me? I want to go to Nairobi and be able to pick up my phone call. I want to go to Somalia and ask Okash, I want to meet this person. What can Okash do for me? That is the understanding of who we're going to be. 10 years from now, I imagine space is that we are going to be the top leaders, the trendsetters, the people who are running our economies, our governments tomorrow and the days after. And what are you doing about it? How are you plugging into a network of people that you understand? How are you looking at people that have been there for you and people who understand you and telling yourself that it doesn't matter if I haven't talked to him in 10 years, in 5 years, we are members of a fellowship. And that's what Leo and YELP in the future is going to be. The fact that we are a family. Guys, from this thing, we have been connected. From my personal experience with Raymond, I was Raymond's best man. I've never been a best man to anybody, but I was Raymond's best man. I took pride in that and where we've come from. I will call and put out BB and Joanita. They've gotten married as fellows. These are two fellows getting married. So we're creating not just a support system that helps you, but we're creating a family. A family that I want us to understand that today it is just between us. Tomorrow, in the 10 years to come, we have to be calling our spouses to join into things that, like the annual leaders gathering. Our spouses have to understand that this is a fellowship of like-minded people. I would want our children to sit down and know that when I go on holiday across the country, I have an auntie and uncle who is daddy's friend and who understands. And then those children have to be impacted upon the very values that we believe in. Those values, if we transcend them from just our cohorts to our friends, to our families, to our offsprings, then we get the Africa that we want. And that is the basic ideal that we're pushing for. And in speaking about family, we understand that people have their own issues. Liz said it the other day, yesterday actually, that we may go away for a few days. We may not be present for an ALG. We may not come for a summit. But because you don't come for a summit doesn't mean the family forgets you. You could go away for a year, for 2 years, but at the end of it, remember, I belong to the YELP family. And when you belong, we will always remember you. You will always be a part of us. So I want to encourage this between ourselves and between past individuals who have been in our cohorts. When you feel like I've been away for too long and How do I come back? Remember, we are a family. You will always be welcome back. We understand you need to go off. And there's so many of us who are here. We will always understand you need to go off, but you will always come back. So on the last thing, I say we are developing agency. Hashim talked about it yesterday in response to Raymond's question, actually. We have got an agency. 4 years ago, when we started off YELP in 2017, so many of us were just starting out. So many of us were dreamers. I was a dreamer, my God. I imagined. But today, we have the agency. Your reporter of 4 years ago is your editor, is your management control. Your founder has an institute on himself with so many people following them. And that's why I say shout out to Abbas, to Bibi, Benjamin. They have created things that we can only imagine and can only support. As fellow members, like, we come together and we look at what you're doing. I look at the awesomeness of our group. And it's the same awesomeness that I hope for in the 2018 and 2019 group. That all of us become one in each other. That we no longer have class groups, but we have one group. All of us supporting each other. And that is the future of YELP in the 10 years to come, in the 5 years to come. Heck of all, in the 3 years to come. We have the agency. We are the people motivating, encouraging, and we are the faces that will be today and tomorrow. And I want to say this in the sense of the agency that we get. The more knowledge you get, the more frustrated you become because your eyes are open. And that was said at the African Leadership Institute, 2015 class. We are starting to see more. And it's that semblance that I want us to remember. Wherever you are, when you get into that space, I want you to remember that it is more complicated. As Hashim said yesterday, it is more complicated than we understand. And then America Cabral said something. I couldn't find it, but I remember it, and it goes along the lines of, no matter what you see, no matter what you believe, do not let the life that you are living be corrupted by the life you envision. Guys, we are YELP. We are the future of Africa. We are more, and we're going to be more. But I do not want us, the contrarian in me will always tell you, I do not want us to become idealists. Remember where you are. Remember how you've gotten where you are, and keep that in mind. We have ideas, we have dreams. Let us bridge those ideas with where we are, and then let's not fail ourselves by being overly idealistic. Let us not fail ourselves and then fail to see what we can do. With that, I am grateful for all of you. I am grateful for the teams that I've met. I'm grateful for the people I interact with. You guys are awesome. And in the coming months, we are going to give you something that builds the institute, that builds YELP in itself. So the institute is launching the YELP alumni program. And this is a program that so many of you have heard about, and it's going to be run by ourselves. Liz Mwange is our president, and she is an awesome person, and she has a team that is going to come on. You have people like Okash. You have people like Akampa. All these people who are coming on board. Isaac is just giving us seminar experiences, guys. I mean, I've tried to give you seminar experiences, but like Isaac's experiences are going to be so much more. So in that space, in that spirit, can we be more for each other? Can we be champions for each other? And can we be champions for the institute? As I finish off, I'm going to give us a quote from Sankara. He said, you cannot carry out change without a certain degree of madness. In this case, it comes from non-conformity, the courage to turn our back on old formulas, and invent the future. We are inventing the future. We are the future. And besides, as it continues, it took the madmen of yesterday for us to be able to act with the extreme clarity of today. I want to be one of those madmen. And you madmen and mad women of the YELP program, I can only say, I am glad to be one of you. In my smallest endeavors, I can only say, this is a fellowship, a brotherhood, a sisterhood of individuals who know what they want and who know where they're pushing to. And for that, I thank you for your time. I wish you the most ultimate of success in your endeavors. And I hope and pray to God that we may be more and we can do more. So with that, that is the end of my keynote. And I tell you, imagine communities and imagine our future of Europe. We will be more. We are more. Thank you.